Hi there, it's Shari at Schneider Haus, and today I'm working in the garden shed, and I'm planting. I'm getting a head start on the garden season. It's still quite early here in Ontario. I am planting cucumbers, an early green cluster cucumber, and these are a variety that was available in around 1856, which is the time period that most of the plants in our garden are. We will be planting them in our traditional 4-square garden once they have sprouted and once we're past any danger of a frost. So here I am going to put probably maybe 3 seeds in each of these little containers and get them into here. Now, cucumbers are kind of an important crop for the Schneiders. It's one of those crops that we could pickle, and pickling is important. Pickling is a process with preserving this vegetable in vinegar that will enable us to eat the cucumbers or the pickles throughout the winter when we don't have access to fresh vegetables. So we'll get quite a lot of these in, I hope. The Schneiders had quite a big garden. They had to feed a lot of children, a lot of family, and so they would have been planting. They didn't have access to a grocery store 24/7 like we do today, so anything that they really wanted to eat, they had to grow themselves. So there we go. I think that would be probably enough of those for right now. So we'll set aside the rest of my cucumber seeds and label them with the tag cucumber so I know what I've got going here. Those are my cucumbers. Now, another thing that we like to plant lots of is the herb catnip, and not because we have a lot of cats roaming around here that enjoy the catnip. We actually use it as a medicinal plant in our garden. So we would make a tea out of it, and I believe the tea for this was good in helping with babies who have colic. So it's kind of a natural remedy today, but it would have been something that the Schneiders used a fair bit of if they had lots of children. And so if they had colic, this plant will grow up nice, and they can use the leaves of it either fresh or dried and steeped in a tea. So get lots of that in here. Our crop last year of catnip didn't really do so well. So this will give us an awful lot of catnip, and I'm putting an awful lot of seeds in here. You probably don't need this many. I'm just hoping that it takes off quite a bit. So I think let's just finish this here, put that there, get them in, and pour the rest of my seeds back for later, for next year. And we are going to mark that one with catnip. I've got more here, some other heirloom seeds going on. This one always makes me happy. We've got sunflowers, so get some sunflowers in there, make a bright impact in our garden. So I don't have too many of those, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put multiples in these pots because the pots are so big, and get that in there and that in there. Oops, I dropped one, but we'll move it so it's in the right pot. Just tuck them under the soil a wee bit. That one, stick it in there. We'll just do 3 pots of these. We don't need too many sunflowers. Put them back in. All right. Now the last thing I'm going to plant today is going to be cabbages. Now the cabbage, or sure, not cabbages, sorry. I'm going to plant squash. Cabbage were already started outside in our grout cooch. So squash is always a good thing to have because it is something else that can be kept through the winter. If you have a cold cellar in your basement, you can keep cabbage downstairs, or as the Schneiders do, under their beds where it's nice and cool and the humidity is right. They can be stored under our beds and will provide us with food throughout the winter. So the kind that I'm using here is called a Canada Crookneck, and it is one of the older varieties of seed that I can get today. So we'll start these in here, 3 to a pot, get them just under the soil, and hope that these turn out. And that's it. That's me in the garden shed.